All right guys, in today's video, I want to take a little different approach with this project. I want to break it down and just really go over everything. Whether you are a homeowner watching this or a contractor, we're going to cover some really key points that you need to think about when addressing your next project. So the next thing we're going to look at, guys, is the installation process. The first thing that we lay out and install is going to be the patio. So with our radius pin, we just measure off our radius, we paint out that entire circle, and then we use a lap siding bender board for our form board on that just bends really nice. And then we use our concrete stakes. Using this bender board and doing a radius, you do have to reinforce with a lot more stakes than you do using like a 2x4 or 2x6, just because it flexes so much. To keep the radiuses true, you'll have to go in and set some concrete stakes on the inside, just keeping that bender board kind of sandwiched there. As the concrete fills that void, you're able to loosen them up and pull those out. But it's just kind of hold that bender board in place until the concrete gets there. Anytime we're doing patios or sidewalks, I like to use number 3 rebar. And so that's what we're going to use here. That's 3/8 rebar, and we put it on about 15-inch centers. We set a 2x2 square in the center of the patio. This is where our drain ran into, and this is where our utilities run in. The gas was going to be fed in for the fire pit, and it was just going to be center of the fire pit. Okay, so once all of our forms are set and our rebar's in, the next thing we do is we will pour the concrete. For our mix, we chose a 4,000 PSI that we put a pea gravel in. The reason we choose a pea gravel instead of a 1-inch gravel is because it just likes to lay down and not come up with the stamps. We also like to put in an integral color so that way if the concrete ever chips, that color is all the way through. For our release, we typically use a 2-color release. On this one, I went with a nutmeg and with a light gray. These colors were to match and kind of complement the existing mountain fieldstone that we found in the backyard. When the concrete came out, it was actually at like a 6.5 slump. This was really wet. We also had retardant in it, and so it took quite a while for it to set up and cure before we could actually get out there and stamp it. For the pattern, we chose a random stone, or it's like a random flagstone. And the reason we went with the stamped concrete on this patio is so that we could save the customer a few dollars per foot versus real stone. The thing that you have to really look at when you're putting a stamp on there is that you need it to firm up, and the best way that I know to describe it is to do like a fingerprint test. So as you get it floated out and then you get it trialed in, what you start to look at is when that concrete's going to start to set up and cure. We call it blowing up, but you just keep checking it about every 5 to 10 minutes, and then once your fingers aren't really indenting that patio, then you know that it can kind of hold your weight to get out there and put the stamps on it. The next morning we came out, we popped some chalk lines coming off the corners of that 2x2 center form. And the reason we pulled off of those corners is because that's where the concrete's naturally going to want to crack, is on those sharp corners. So anytime you pour around a post or something like that, that's going to be where your concrete's naturally going to want to crack. So we went ahead and we cut that X pattern off of that. I don't like putting an X pattern like that in there, but we did put the fire pit over it so you couldn't tell. The next thing that we got into is going to be our stone makers. This is our steps, our bench seating wall, and our fire pit. Anytime I'm doing like a bench seating wall, it's going to be doing some retention like that. I like to go ahead and have it reinforced with rebar. I'll use number 4 anytime I'm going vertical, and then I'll still put that on like 12 to 18-inch centers, and then run a lateral every 12 to 15 inches. We went ahead and we put an integral in our stone makers as well. I went 2 times the pigment that I put in the patio. That way it was a color that was complementary to the patio, but it was a little bit darker like the actual fieldstone is. For our pattern that we carved out, we chose to go with the fieldstone so it matched the existing stone in the backyard. And then we put those borders on the steps and on the top of our bench seating wall and on top of our fire pit to just give us that nice dark border to complement the patio. For this design, we had a couple like corner anchor boulders. They were originally put in there to actually cover up a couple of the imperfections of the existing upper washed aggregate patio. And we went ahead and we put another one on the corner next to the water feature because that was where I wanted to tie the waterfall in nice and tight up against our patio. When I put that boulder in there, I actually created a little pocket where it was going to hold water. So while the concrete was still wet, I took a 1-inch PVC and I just created and kind of bored a hole right there on the top of the patio out the back of the wall. So if any water does sit in that corner, it'll leach out. right, guys, so I'm pretty proud of this project. I think that we nailed bringing our 3D landscape design to life. So we're gonna take a poll. I'd like to know what you think. Did we do a good job of bringing our rendering to life in the backyard? I think we nailed it, but if you don't think so, you can click no, or just don't click anything at all. But please do the survey and click yes. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I would appreciate your feedback though on that. I like using this software. It helps us bring that vision to life for the customer, and it helps me to be able to recreate it in the backyard, show my guys the vision, and keep everybody on the same page. But I'd also like for you to just comment down below if you have something going on, a project that you may need some help with, if you have any questions about something we did that you want to implement on your own project or at your own home, just leave a comment down below. I'd love to kind of help you. That's what this channel's all about, guys. It's just being able to help you in whatever you're doing, show you what we're doing, where we have our successes, where we have our screw-ups, whatever it may be. But guys, I appreciate you coming along the journey with me. I appreciate you watching this video today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We've got some big things happening very soon, and I can't wait to share them with you. Guys, God bless. I love you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Chip, you ready?
Yep.
How's the hat look? Hair and makeup, are we good?
Hair and makeup.
All right. Oh, no, light. Caught it. That was bad. How's the lighting behind us now?
Not good.
Who put that there? Fire on Justin.
Handle, he's gone.